Hey everybody out there, welcome to the American BiGuy podcast. I'm your host, your boy, the American BiGuy, and I'm here to pretty much give it to you straight, unfiltered, raw, more of a community digest on topics ranging from bisexuality, of course, to acceptance, to religion, influences, differences between male and female. I'm here, and we're gonna be here to always be that place where you can go to and talk about things and topics that nobody else want to talk about. You see, being bi, as I always said before, in case anyone has not actually seen the other videos, it's like being a vampire werewolf. You transform when the occasion arises. And in between, there's subtle indicators, things that you might do to let somebody know that you're feeling them a little bit more than your other boys or your other girlfriends. And right now, with this corona thing going on, we all have no outlet. I mean, there's nowhere to go. You got America not dealing well with it. You got states trying to open back up for barbershops, hair salons, and, stuff that's kind of like not really essential. And even though all that's kind of happening, we don't look like we're going to have a summer. You got schools talking about they're not going to open up until January 2021. You got kids out of school. I mean, it's crazy. And you definitely don't look like we're going to have any sort of festivals this year, whether it be Pride, one of the worldwide events for LGBTQ individuals and supporters of the community to come together and let everybody know that they're here, they're proud, they love themselves, and we love them. But none of that's happening. And, we had our role in all of that. We had our role of making an appearance with the American BiGuy, and a lot of artists and individuals are coming forward. But all that's been put on hold. So the podcast is here and will be uploaded on YouTube and various platforms. Because like I said before, we've got to figure out a way to bring us all together. Now, for anyone out there that may be bi, it's cool. I love being on the B team. One of the biggest fears about being bi is that when you end up being categorized or miscategorized or, put into a category where you're living something that you're not, or people don't understand you. I'll speak for men. One of the reasons why men have a hard time admitting that they're bisexual is because you're either gay or straight. If you can't be both, if you're bi, and I'm not trying to knock my gay brothers and sisters, but people think you confused. The gay community will tell you that I used to be like you. Give it time, you're really gay. And you're like, but I'm really feeling this female over here. If you're a woman, you have a little bit of leverage to kind of kiss a girl and like it, or, date around, have encounters, and then you can go back to your boyfriend or your husband and, hell, they might even encourage it, brag about it. But if you're a man, we don't have a place to talk about it. Only time it comes out is when we are behind closed doors. And oftentimes, those doors are often bars. And then you got men in jail who were homophobic when they were out, now all of a sudden coming at you or coming at other men. And my argument, and always will be, that just don't happen because you behind closed doors, or you're not going to get caught, or those doors are not bars. There's always been something there, you know? So, we need a spot. And I don't need to be in jail. I don't need to be behind closed doors to talk about it. And, you know, I feel like this podcast is a great way for others to kind of come to terms with understanding that they're not alone.
I like that.
You know, you're not alone. And we are people. We're just like anybody else. We're capable of love, relationships, where some of us are polyamorous, some of us are, you know, one man or one woman guy. It is what it is. And with that being said, I want to talk about our first topic, relationships. You know, with this COVID-19 thing going on, a lot of people out here are having to come home to people that they fell out of love with. People that they now roommates with, but they married originally, or they got into a relationship and they don't really see each other. Because you got Google saying that a lot of people are looking up divorces. How to get a divorce is one of their top searches right now on the internet. I think that's kind of wild. So we encourage you here at American BiGuy to live in your truth, whether you're single, married, you know, or polyamorous, whatever the case may be. Live in your truth, because you only got one life to live, as far as I'm concerned. Maybe there are others, but I'm going to live this one. And plenty of people throughout history have been and are bisexual. But for whatever reason, we are not respected, believed, almost disgraced. You know, we always kind of end up in a situation where we got to prove ourselves to others. We got to make them understand that if we trying to talk to you or pursue you, that we are legitimate. And that's not fair. You know, I can attest, you know, being in relationships, I have dated men, I've dated women. And I remember many times being in a situation where, you know, the individual kind of looked at me like, do you really like me? And I'm like, yeah, I like you. Yeah, I mean, I want to get to know you. And then they'd be like, well, I know you like girls too. And I'm like, yeah. Or if I was talking to a female, they were like, whoa, you know, I think you might be gay. And I'm like, in all honesty, I know I'm not gay. But do I find men attractive? Sometimes. Do I find you attractive? I wouldn't be here if I didn't. You know, it's so convoluted. And it's crazy how we got to prove ourselves to the person more so than what somebody who says they're gay or heterosexual, you know, has to do. But many people, you know, if you had watched the other videos, you know, I have lived all over the country. You know, like I said, I'm not going to recant everything, but I'll tell you that, you know, I've lived in 10 states and I went to 4 universities and I had over 50 college roommates. I lost count. It's a lot of dudes I talked to, a lot of couples, a lot of people trying to figure out who I am. And I found similarities and trends in between. And that's kind of what helped me realize that I'm not by myself in this. And even in being not by myself, I want you to know you're not by yourself. You know, we're going to have a segment here on the American BiGuy channel that is called Not By Myself, where we talk to men and women who are single and in couples, relationships, or whatever the situation may be, who are willing to open up, share themselves, maybe not their identities, which is totally fine, because everybody's got to come out, or if they choose to in their own time, but the whole goal of the objective is to let you know that you're not alone. The thoughts, if you are 10%, 20%, 30% attracted to the opposite or same sex, there's somebody out there for you. There's somebody out there who is like you. There's somebody out there who will get you. And so I need you to understand that we're just people, and so are you. You're only human. We want to do it in a way that, like I said before, talks about things that nobody else want to talk about. Topics that we think about, but no one ever actually is, bold enough to bring to forefront. Why? Because it is what it is. One of the things I want to talk about was a woman in the beginning of this year who outed a man. He was a man that she had talked to briefly. They had like a encounter, one sexual encounter where I think it was something oral, And then time passed and, there was nothing there, but she came by his house one day, and I don't remember the logistics of what was going on, but she came by and he was there, in the act with another man. She walked in on him, if you will. And then she tried to blackmail him and tell him that you're going to give me a couple stacks. If you don't give me a couple grand, I'm going to out you. And I think he said, I don't know you nothing, and you better not, and blah, blah, blah. And to make a long story short, the woman did that. She went to Facebook, shamed this dude, and outed him like he was the scum of the earth. She disgraced this dude. And I'm not saying at all, in any shape, form, or way, that this woman deserved what happened to her, because this woman is now deceased. But she was ultimately driving, and I'm not sure if it was the guy that she outed or not, but she was in her car, and somebody pulled up and shot her a couple times. And the woman crashed, and she, like I said, she's deceased now. But I just want everyone out there to know that whether you're in a relationship with somebody that is bi, or whether you are not, or somebody that you suspect may be bi, leave them alone. Leave them alone. They're just people, and it will always be their right to decide if they choose to let others know, or keep one foot out the closet. Hell, however you want to do it. Because I said before, like, being bisexual is like being a vampire werewolf. Oftentimes it goes unchecked and unnoticed. And so I need you guys to really kind of digest that, because there are people out there who are struggling with who they are. You don't have to pick a team. If you choose to get with somebody, let them know you on the B team. Maybe that person's cool with it, maybe they not. Some people like people who smoke, some people don't. You just gotta really kind of own and live in your truth, because with this COVID-19 thing going on, that's one thing we realize, is that life is short. And we encourage you to live in your truth, because I'm going to live in mine. And, you just got to be you. That's the only way to do it. So, thank you for tuning in to the first American BiGuy podcast. And in the future, we're going to have more topics that'll get deeper and really kind of dig and unveil some things that need to be talked about in a safe space. No judgment zone here. You like what you like. I like what I like. I am who I am, and you are who you are. So, with that being said, you have a good night.